I feel energy. I feel thunder. There is power beyond imagining. This must be the strongest Zoid of all. Thus I utter the ultimate name of power. Zoidzilla! Monarch of Machines! I am the Namer, guardian of the names of power. Before your world even existed, my people were an ancient race. Now they are gone, and only I remain, keeper of my people's history. Across the endless tracts of space have I traveled, to return to the planet of my birth, Zoidstar. Though my people perished long ago, and their cities were buried by the shifting sands, the machines remain. It is these that have brought me here to perform the last act of the Zoidarian race, the giving of the names of power. When my race was young and had an interest in the affairs of the galaxy, they built the machines, mighty engines of destruction which gave the power of life and death over the other creatures in the galaxy. The Zoidarians turned their gaze outward and laid waste to 1,000 star systems with their machines, their Zoids. But ruling a galaxy was not enough for the Zoidarians. It was not the conquests, but the battles they enjoyed. And though all intelligent life trembled in the shadow of the Zoids, my people battled on, machine against machine, Zoidarian against Zoidarian, in the further pursuit of glory. Zoidarian lives were needlessly sacrificed to the god of battle, and the race dwindled in numbers until the elders outlawed the Zoid duels. But they couldn't outlaw the Zoidarian love of combat. The Zoidarian pilots of the giant war machines were replaced by androids, and thus the heroic combat could continue without threat to Zoidarian life. Too late came the order. Too late to save a once mighty race from extinction, and now only I remain. Only I and the Zoids. And though my people created the Zoids, I have no power to control them. For the war machines have become the living embodiment of the Zoidarian thirst for combat, with lives and wills of their own. They exist only to fight, to ensure that their heroic combat lasts for all eternity. Now I stand on the sand-blasted surface of a world I used to call home, high on a rock, scanning the horizon for some sign of movement, knowing that out there, behind the sand clouds, lurk the deadliest war machines in the universe. It begins!
Mighty Zoidzilla rule the night. Heroic blue guardians ready for the fight. Claws and lasers cutting through the sky. Planet Zoidstar, we ain't saying goodbye. Evil red mutants led by Red Orange might. Dark machines and shadows that bring the blight. Rumbling round and lightning in their way. No surrenders, cause we make no mistake. Evil red mutants led by Red Orange might. is red. Who claimed the right? Desolate wind echoes with our screams. Battle scars and broken dreams. Mechanized beasts tearing through the steel. Every strike's a story, every wound we feel. Onward charging engines of the brave. Blue guardians, we don't fear the grave. Circuit fires burning through the pain. To drive the red back, we claim our domain. Zoids roar, shakes the core. Red or trembles, won't stand no more. Electric skies, our spirits soar. Zoidstar's glory we've come for. Zoids roar, shakes the core. Red or trembles, won't stand no more. Electric skies, our spirits soar. Zoidstar's glory we've come for.
Devastating though these machines may be, they are the least powerful of their kind. Stronger and more savage are the Power Zoids. Giant machines whose very passing can topple mountains. Even now, a Power Zoid approaches.
The ultimate Godzilla Zoid is born. To the Helic his loyalty is sworn. Towering Godzilla machine in steel. Gojulas the Ogre comes for the kill. Bound in desert yellow armor and might. Gojulas the Ogre brings empire fright. His eyes blaze red hot like fiery hell. No Kylo Zoid will survive him to tell. Bound down to desert yellow armor and might. Gojulas the Ogre brings empire fright. His eyes blaze red hot like fiery hell. No Kylo Zoid will survive him to tell. Bow down to ultimate monster machine. Gojulas the Ogre, power unseen. He fires Gojulas cannons with force. Godzilla Zoid, a planet he takes course. Crusher claws grasp and break rival Zoids apart. ARC beam gun strikes that machine heart. TRC linear laser gun fire. Two-barrel heavy machine gun empire. Gojulas the Ogre's hyper bite fangs. Rip and tear empire Zoids with metal clangs. Bend on the surface to where beam guns shoot. Scan the skies for aerial foes en route. Bow down to ultimate monster machine. Gojulas the Ogre, power unseen. He fires Gojulas cannons with force. Godzilla Zoid, a planet he takes course. Gojulas cannons, mightiest guns of all. Overwhelming firepower, Zoid war call. Gojulas the Ogre, greatest Helic Zoid. Bane to the Empire, Zoid never destroyed. The Ogre, power unseen. He fires Gojulas cannons with force. Godzilla Zoid, a planet he takes course. Bow down to ultimate monster machine. Gojulas the Ogre, power unseen. He fires Gojulas cannons with force. Godzilla Zoid, a planet he takes course. Bow down to ultimate monster machine. Gojulas the Ogre, power unseen. He fires Gojulas cannons with force. Godzilla Zoid, a planet he takes course. Bow down to ultimate monster machine. Gojulas the Ogre, power unseen. He fires Gojulas cannons with force. Godzilla Zoid, a planet he takes course.
The Blue Zoids have only one hope now. Their leader, mighty Zoidzilla, must join the fray. For only through Zoidzilla's matchless strength can the Blue Zoids hope to survive. It is the never-ending battle between Red and Blue Zoids. It has been waged for centuries. It rages still, with no end in sight.
I
the Namer, last of the Zoidarians, guardian of the names of power, keeper of the legend of heroic combat, have spoken.